Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brent from Team Draw Better, and today we're back with another deck profile, and this time we're going to be covering Spright. Now, before I jump into it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. So, without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. Now, Spright is a really good control deck, this format. You know, you want to build boards that have multiple layered interruptions for your opponent, and then the following turn you're just going to focus on going in for game. So for starters, monsters, we're playing 3 blue. Now, one thing that all the Spright monsters have in common, if you control a level or rank 2 monster, you can special summon this from your hand, and you can only do this once per turn. But when Spright Blue is special summoned, you can add any Spright monster from deck to hand, excluding Spright Blue, and you can only use this once per turn. So depending on what you need, whether it's a monster negate, spell negate, or just an extender, Spright Blue can search them out. But next we are playing 3 Jet. Same thing with Jet. You can special summon it when a level or rank 2 is on board, but when Jet is special summoned, you can add 1 Spright, spell, or trap from deck to your hand. And we have multiple targets for this. Same thing with Jet. Depending on what you need interruption-wise, or if you need to keep going with your plays, your options you can grab Spright Starter, you can grab Double Cross, you can grab the Gamma Burst for OTKing. But Jet is just a nice extender to get more of your Spright cards out. Moving on, we're playing 2 red. Now, I'm playing 2 red. I've seen builds where it's like people usually play 1 of, and because what red is, you can special summon it if you control a level or rank 2. But Spright Red's effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you contribute 1 other rank or link 2 monster, or level rank or link 2 monster, negate the effect, and if you tributed a rank or link 2 monster, you can destroy it. So Spright Red is a nice monster negate for the deck. And same thing with, we were playing 1 Carrot. Carrot is going to be your spell trap negate, and it works the same way. You tribute a level, rank, or link 2 monster to negate a spell or trap. So you can end on some extra deck monsters and have these 2 on board, and these will still be 2 really good interactions because you get a spell trap negate and a monster negate. So good interruption. Next, we are playing 3 Swap Frog. Swap Frog we use to mostly go into Totally Awesome, but Swap Frog's effect, you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 other water monster. And then when this card is summoned, so normal or special summoned, you can send 1 level 2 or lower water aqua monster from deck or face-up field to the graveyard. And once per turn, you can return 1 monster you control from the hand, or to the hand. You can normal summon 1 frog during your main phase, except Swap Frog, in addition to your normal summon. So, Swap Frog effect, what we normally do, so there's 2 different options with Swap Frog. For the special summon, you discard 1 other water monster, and we do play quite a few water monsters in this build, so it's possible that you have 2 water monsters in hand, Swap Frog being one of them, so it's an easy summon. But when this card is summoned, you're sending 1 level 2 or lower water aqua monster, and the one that we're always going to set or send is going to be Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier. Now, we play this card, again, to go into Totally Awesome, because both Swap Frog and Mirror Mage are both level 2 water aqua monsters. And why we send this off Swap Frog is because when Mirror Mage hits the graveyard, you can add 1 of your Ice Barrier cards that is banished or in your deck to your hand, except Mirror Mage. So Again, this play is just to go into totally awesome, very relatively easy. But next off, we're playing 3 Nimble Beaver. Nimble Beaver is the best normal summon in the deck. Nimble Beaver, when it's normal summoned, you can special a level 3 or lower Nimble monster from deck or graveyard. And the one you're always going to be special summoning is Nimble Angler. We play 2 copies of Nimble Angler because we always want 1 to special summon if we normal summon Beaver, and 1 to dump to the graveyard, because when Angler hits the graveyard, you can special summon up to 2 level 3 or lower Nimble monsters from your deck, except Nimble Angler. So when this hits grave, we special out 2 copies of Beaver, and that's going into a rank 2 Xyz or Link or anything like that almost immediately. To round up the monsters, we do play 1 copy of Melfi Caddy and 1 Penny. So with these 2 cards, you can special summon 1 off of Gigantic Spright because it is a level 2. And Caddy effect, when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for an attack, you can bounce this card to the hand. Then you can add 1 beast from deck to hand, except Caddy. And you're always going to add Penny off of this, because when Penny comes to your hand and you activate this effect off Caddy, Penny's quick effect, because a face-up beast was returned to the hand this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then immediately after this effect resolves Synchro Summon. So we run these 2 because we are running Herald of the Arclight in the extra deck. So this is just how we would make Herald of the Arclight. I think really good for this format because anything sent to the grave is banished when you make Herald. But that's it for the monsters. So we're going to move on to the spells and traps. So to start off the spell cards, we're playing probably the best starter, Spright Starter. Now, when you activate Spright Starter, you can special summon 1 Spright monster from your deck, but you lose life points equal to its original attack. So if you were to summon out, say, Spright Blue, as soon as Spright Blue would hit the field, you would lose 1100 attack. So something you have to be careful with in time, but it is a good starter yet because it can get all of your rank 2 plays going. But after this card resolves, you are locked into level, rank, and link 2 monsters for the rest of the turn. So something to keep in mind. Next off, we are playing 1 Gamma Burst. Gamma Burst just helps us go in for game when our opponent doesn't really have any more plays. So all rank, level, and link 2 monsters gain 1400 attack and defense till the end of the turn. And also during the main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, target 1 level, rank, or link 2 monster, and it gains 1400 attack. So just another card to help going for OTK. We're playing 1 Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier. This is for Mirror Mage hitting graveyard, because when this is activated, you can target a level 4 or lower Ice Barrier and special summon it. So if you have Swap Frog on field and you activate this with Mirror Mage and graveyard, you can target the Mirror Mage, bring him out, and then immediately overlay into Totally Awesome. So good card to have for an even better card to make. Next, we are playing 3 Talent. Talent just helps either extend by drawing 2 or break our opponent's board a little bit by stealing one of their monsters or ripping a card out of their hand. So Talent's just a nice 3 of to have in the build. And we play 1 Called by the Grave. Called by just helps you go through your plays just in case your opponent decides to ash you. 2 trap cards. We play 1 Double Cross. Double Cross is really good because you can target 1 monster on the field or in either graveyard, then activate one of the effects, attach the targeted monster to a rank 2 monster you control, place the targeted monster your opponent controls in your zone your link 2 monster points to, or special summon the targeted monster from either graveyard to your zone your link 2 monster points to. So one of the main things you can do is if your opponent targets a monster in your graveyard, you can do multiple things. You can either attach it to an Xyz monster you control, you can special summon it to your field where your link 2 monster points to, or you can just place it in the zone your link 2 monster points to and just take control of it. So one of the best plays to do with Double Cross is if you use up Totally Awesome and you have a link 2 on board, Totally Awesome is not once per turn. So you can activate Double Cross, target Totally Awesome, and place it or special summon it back to the zone where your link 2 monster points to, and you have another negate off of Totally Awesome because it's not once per turn. So the other trap, we play 1 Angel Statue Azurune, and we do play Silhouette Rabbit, so this is just for negating a summon. Really powerful card. But we're going to move on to hand traps now. So there is a lot more hand traps in this build than some others I've posted, but we are playing the staples, we are playing 3 Ash, and we are playing 3 Imperm right off the bat. Ash and Imperm, I feel like if you don't at least have these in a deck, this format, I don't know, I feel like you're not really having the bare minimum interaction because, granted, you could play just straight gas in your deck and that would make up for it, but if you are looking to run hand traps, you at least need these 2. But those aren't the only 2 hand traps that we play. We are playing 3 Effect Veiler as well. Effect Veiler is just to stop some more monster effects alongside Imperm, just to really take control of your opponent's board and just stop them in their tracks. And then if your opponent does overextend a little bit, we are playing 3 Nib. Nib is going to be really strong this upcoming format. So they can't stop it because Apollosa got banned. So if they overextend, you just give them the rock. All right, so that's it for the hand traps. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with the Xyz monsters, and we're playing 2 Gigantic. Gigantic is one of the monsters that you always want to go into because this card's effect, you can detach 1 material from a monster you control, and if you do, you can special summon 1 level 2 monster from your deck, and neither player can special summon for the rest of the turn except level, rank, or link 2 monsters. So the second you activate this, and if it resolves, this means your opponent can't nib you, they can't bestial. If you're playing against Yubel and you go to attack, they can no longer spirit in battle phase. So that stops a lot of different plays as far as your opponent interacting. But Gigantic is one of the monsters you always want to go into because it helps you get to the exact plays that you need. What if that being like Swap Frog, because you can detach 1 and special level 2. It can be Swap Frog for Totally Awesome. It can be Melfi Caddy for Herald of the Arclight, or it can just be another Spright monster to go into any other link, rank, or 2 extra deck monster. But next, we play 1 Totally Awesome. This card is broken because nothing on it is essentially once per turn except the standby phase effect. But Totally Awesome's effect, once per turn when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or a monster effect, you can send 1 Aqua monster from your hand or face-up field to the grave, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card, then you can set it to your field. So if you negate a spell or trap, immediately after you can set it into your back row, and then the following turn, if your opponent doesn't get rid of it, you get to activate it. So really strong effect. Also really strong effect if it's a monster, depending on what it is, but this card is not once per turn. So if you want to bring it back with Spright Double Cross, you can use the negate again. So really strong card in the deck. We do play one copy of Mannequin Cat. Mannequin Cat is just for getting to your plays easier, because once per turn, detach a material from this card, target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, special it to their field, and if a monster is special to your opponent's field while you control this monster, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, special one monster with the same type or attribute from your hand, deck, or grave. So Mannequin Cat just helps you get to your other monsters. Say if they have an Ash Blossom in grave, you can target it, special it to their field, and then with its effect, because it's a fire attribute, you can special summon out Spright Red, because Spright Red is also a fire attribute. So just another easy way to get to some of your monsters. Next up, we are playing one Soul Sweeper. Soul Sweeper is just a way to get rid of some of your opponent's monsters. It's essentially another SP, but yeah, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target a banished monster up to the number of materials this card had and shuffle them into the deck. And then for the rest of the XZs, we do play the Zeus package, so we do one Downward Magician and one Zeus. Zeus, pretty self-explanatory, just for clearing up the opponent's board. And then for our links, we do play one Sprind. So when Sprind is link summoned, you can send one level 2 monster from your deck to the graveyard, and the one you're usually always going to send is Nimble Angler. That way you get 2 additional bodies on field, but you can also send Mirror Mage to get your Ice Barrier spell. So really good utility card. It has multiple uses, and yeah, it's a staple. I do play one Dark, the Dark Charmer. So this is one of the tools you can use to link climb. But if you can't link climb, you can also link summon this off, go to battle phase, crash it, and then effect when it's destroyed by an opponent's card, by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can add one dark monster with 1500 less defense from your deck to your hand. So the reason why you'd crash this is because you can add off of it either Spright Jet or Spright Blue, because both of their defenses are under 1500 attack or 1500 defense. So that's the reason why we play Dark. It's just to help extend a little bit. We do play one Syl Hat Rabbit, as I mentioned before, one IP, one SP, one Selene, because we do play Veilers. So if we're link climbing and we use an effect Veiler, Selene can just target the effect Veiler, special it to the zone it points to, and then we can keep climbing into Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is just to help break the opponent's board a little bit more. And then, like I mentioned before as well, we play one Herald of the Arclight. Works just like D-Shifter, except just for monsters. Any monster sent from hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead, and then it's just another Omni Negate. So that's going to be it for the extra deck. Now we're going to move on to the side deck. And for the side deck, we're going to keep things spicy, and we're going to run 3 Shifter. Now, Shifter is really only a going second card because it only hurts you if you're going first. Now, most decks this format are going to have trouble playing around Shifter because like they're really graveyard heavy. So Shifter going second typically with this deck is fine. We do play a couple time cards. So one Red Resonator, and the reason we play this is because it is a level 2. We can special it off of Gigantic Spright, and when it's special summoned, you can target a face-up monster on the field and gain life points equal to its attack. So Red Resonator is just a time card, and then we play 2 Spooky Dogwood, just another time card. Whenever your opponent special summons, you gain life points equal to the monster's attack. We play a Bestial package in the side. We play 1 mag, 1 Druid Swarm, and 1 Baldrake, just for getting rid of your graveyard stuff your opponent might have. And then just additional interruptions. For back row removal, 1 Duster, 2 Cyclone, and then just additional interaction. We play 3 Solemn Judgment, just because it's a counter trap. Your opponent can't respond unless it's another counter trap. So if you really need to negate something, then you flip this face up, pay half your life points and negate it. But that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Spright deck profile. Really good deck, this format, I think. I think it's really underrated because, like, you can build some crazy boards off of Spright, and usually they stop your opponent in your tracks. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.